DC-13 plane wreck, Skjolheimasandur, Iceland. The plane was one of 4 Douglas Dakota planes based at the U.S. Navy base in Keflavik Airport in Iceland. Keflavik Airport was an important U.S. military base during the Cold War. This allows the USA to monitor Soviet-Russian military movements in North Atlantic. The base, which was constructed during World War II, was closed in 2006 when the US Navy left Iceland. According to official US records, the crash took place in November 24, 1973, but this is incorrect. The correct time and date is the afternoon of November 21, 1973, as reported by local media and eyewitness accounts. The cause of the crash are somewhat unclear, as accounts differ as to whether it was due to human error, a mechanical failure, the plane running out of fuel, or even a storm. The most popular theory is that the plane crashed after running out of fuel during a storm, after the pilot accidentally switched to the wrong fuel tank. The plane was returning to Keflavik from the town of Havn in Hornafjörður in southeast Iceland. It had been delivering equipment for the US radar station on Stoxis, east of Havn. Suddenly, the plane was caught in a storm. The temperatures fell to below -10 degrees Celsius with a thick fog and powerful wind gusts, with sleet and rain, causing ice to build up on the plane. The captain, James Wick, fought the storm and mechanical difficulties. His co-pilot, Gregory Fletcher, was still in training and had only flown 21 hours in a plane of this type, none of which had prepared him for this kind of ordeal. Suddenly, both of the plane's engines gave out, causing the plane to start losing altitude. The thick fog did not make things easier for the crew. Visibility was so poor that at times the crew was unable to see the tips of the wings. Wick sent out a distress call, handing the control over to his co-pilot. As the plane appeared to be headed straight for a mountain, Fletcher made the decision to head south, with the goal of attempting an emergency landing on the sea. He calculated that the crew stood a better chance of surviving a crash landing in the sea than in the steep mountainside. When the plane came down through the thick clouds, Fletcher discovered that they were flying over a plain that looked like someplace on the surface of the moon. He made an emergency landing on the frozen beach. He managed to stop the plane when it was 18 feet from where the waves of the ocean crashed on the black sand. All 5 crew members survived the crash uninjured, but the plane was badly damaged. The crew hurried out of the plane as they feared the plane might catch fire, as the fuel tanks had been damaged in the crash. The only things they grabbed with them were the first aid kit and an old radio, dating back to World War II. Their earlier distress call had been picked up by a Hercules transport en route from Europe to Keflavik. The naval base in Keflavik, as well as local ISAR battalions, had been alerted, and a rescue operation was already being prepared when the plane crashed. The crew only had to wait an hour before a US rescue chopper from Keflavik reached them, airlifting them back to the base. The US Navy decided that recovering the plane from the crash site on the barren sand near the ocean, 2.5 miles from the nearest road, Suderlandsvägen, was too difficult. After the Navy had stripped the plane of everything of any value, The empty husk was left on the sand where it has stood ever since. For years, the empty plane was used as a storage by a farmer whose land it had crashed on. It was also used as a target practice by local hunters, who riddled it with bullet holes while practicing their aim. Fletcher was later awarded an Air Medal Bronze Star for saving the crew with a successful emergency landing. This concludes the origin story of the DC-13 plane wreck in Skjolheimasundr, Iceland.